In today's video, everything's coming up roses. I'll be sharing how I found my antique Old Country Roses tea collection, and in the kitchen, I'll prepare a delicious rose tea for a special tea time. Hello and welcome back. I'm so excited today. I have another story time for you. Today I'm going to share how I found my Royal Albert Country Roses tea set at an antique store. This happened about a year ago, and I've been wanting to share my story with you. As you know, I love antiquing, and my husband and I love to go to antique stores and look around and shop, a lot of window shopping, and usually I don't make many purchases, but until this one day. So it was a year ago in spring, and we decided to go to an antique store that we had really been to. Now, I had always wanted this particular set of dishes. If we go back to 1998, which is the year that I got married, I had registered for these dishes. And I know it was an extravagant request, but I think that was something I was excited to do when I got engaged, and Ruben and I went to JCPenney, and actually JCPenney had these in their China department, and I was ecstatic. So I really went all out and put this in my gift registry, and then I waited to see how many pieces I would get, thinking that I was gonna get all of these wonderful China pieces from this collection. Well, instead we ended up getting 5 toasters and a couple of other kitchen things that basically don't have anymore. I do have a couple of nice things that I did receive. After all these years, I have always been wanting this collection, and I would look and I would see things on Facebook Marketplace, but there was never a good price. It was never a good time. And so they always say that when you're looking for specific pieces, especially antiquing, that there's always a right time when you find the perfect piece. Back to the story. My husband and I walked into this antique store, went right to the area where I asked where they have pinks and china and shabby chic, all that. And they actually had an area. And in these beautiful glass shelves that were locked, I saw this beautiful collection. They actually had all of the dinner plates, salad plates, and everything else, but I thought, well, I'm going to start out slow and just build my collection because I really have wanted and desired the tea set. The teapot is one thing that I've always wanted, along with a sugar bowl and a creamer and maybe a couple of teacups. Well, the collection had all of it, and I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe. So we walked around the store a little bit. We thought about it. It was quite an investment at the moment, and I thought, well, am I ever going to find this again, ever? And my husband and I discussed it, and we decided that we were going to go for it. And I was so excited. That is how I brought them home. I didn't plan on it. I didn't think we were going to find anything good at this antique store, but it really surprised me. And I was like a little girl. I was just so excited because it was almost like I was going back to, when I first got married, and the excitement I felt when I had registered for these dishes, and how I really thought I was going to build this collection early on in my life. But better late than never. And it's always about the right timing. So I was very happy we got them home, and at the time, we had already purchased the china cabinet. It was about 2 weeks later. So I was ready to find something that I could be able to put inside the cabinet. And as soon as we got home, I washed them and I looked at the bottom. So this is some things that helped me, because there are some dupes and some fakes out there. But I did make sure that I looked at the bottom of the teacups and made sure I read all the information. I had researched ahead of time. When we got home, I even researched more about the particular set that I had found, because this set is a little different. The colors are a little different, and it's because it's from 1962. So I was excited that whoever had this collection before had purchased it early on. Those of you who know the Royal Albert Country Roses set, if you have this or if you know about it, comment down below. I want to know how you got your set, or if you have one. Actually, any of the Royal Albert Country Roses, because I know there's a blue set that is absolutely beautiful. When I was younger, when I was going to get married, I was so into the colors of maroon and burgundy. And that's exactly what the color scheme on this is. And so I was partial to that. And at the time, I don't think the blue set was out. And if it was, I didn't know about it. So this is the one that I wanted to invest in and to have as part of my tea sets. You all know I do collect teapots, and this is actually the first complete collection that I'm going to have with everything. And actually there were other things in the collection that we left behind in the antique store, and I haven't been back since, so I'm not sure if there would be anything left. And if there is, I always say it was meant to be if I go back and I find still the dinner plates and everything else. But there was an extra little thing inside. So there was actually a teaspoon that they had in a package, and it's so beautiful. And this was part of the Royal Albert bone china. It says bone china England on it. Has a little price still from the antique store. And this was a little pricey. I don't know why I gravitated to these things, because they really aren't like such a big thing, but it is a beautiful spoon. It has to be cleaned because it's tarnished a little bit, but it's so beautiful. And it has the Country Roses little porcelain handle, and I absolutely love this. So it actually has a paper in here, and it does say the Cutlery and Silverware Association of the United Kingdom. And then on the side here, that came in the box, it says Old Country Roses jam spoon. I was so excited because that is one thing that we love. I love when I have jam with biscuits, jam with scones, or jam with basically any treats. And I always thought, wow, it would be nice if I could have a specific spoon just for jam and not have to just use my regular teaspoons. So this is so beautiful, and I think it's a great asset to go along with this china. So the first piece is the teapot. I love this. She just is so beautiful, so royal, and everything about her, the gold etching, she is just really beautiful. And the top comes off, and in the middle at the bottom she has a spout, and that goes through. She has it's like a little holes right there. Can you see? Those help the loose tea actually, it helps it from going through the spout. And whenever I make loose leaf tea now, because it's a little healthier for you, I have used this with loose leaf tea, and it does really help keep that from going into the cup. I absolutely love her. I think she is such a beautiful addition to my china cabinet. She's like the queen. So next we have the teacups, and the teacups are beautiful too. I love how it is a little different from the one that you would buy now. Now you can get the newer sets and all of that, but I just love how it's different, and how the teacup and how the saucer all look just a little more older. Yeah, it just feels more dainty, and even feels a little more antique than if I purchased a new set. And that was one thing I was going back and forth all the time. Do I just give in and get a new set? I compared a lot of these sets together, the different years that when they, reproduced them. I just wanted to keep waiting. I was like, no, I want the antique one. Like anything from the 1900s, I was gravitating towards. So even though every time I thought I'm just gonna go buy a set, just get the tea set, I always just hesitated. So now I know why, because I found a beautiful set. And sometimes you just have to wait when it comes to antiquing, because you never know at the right time, like I said, when you will find something that you've been looking for. And I really feel like that is part of just feeling like, even though you want something right away, you just sometimes have to be patient and wait. Now here's the creamer, and I think she is so pretty too. I love the handles. I love her shape. It's so feminine and so pretty too. And then this has the roses on both sides. So the creamer is beautiful. And then we have the sugar bowl. And I love how the sugar bowl is very robust and a little bit bigger, kind of whiter, kind of reminiscent of the teapot. So I feel like they match very well and they complement each other. And then the beautiful lid with the finial on the top. And then you have the roses on both sides. And then the extra gold. So I love it. It's so beautiful. So I know that today is International Tea Day, and it just so happens that I publish my videos on Wednesday, and today is the day. So in celebration of this beautiful tea collection, I am going to share a little rose tea with you, and we're gonna head to the kitchen and we're gonna make that together. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm excited that we can share and make some rose tea together. I had purchased some of this rose petals from Amazon a few months ago, and I was really excited to try some. And I just opened it right now. It's so fresh. It smells so heavenly. And this is good for baking tea therapy. So why don't we make some rose loose leaf tea together and have some in the dining room. So I have the water boiling in here. Recently, my tea kettle that you all know from my past videos actually got a little burnt. I don't know, it was a weird story, but I'm gonna have to get a new tea kettle. In the meantime, I boil water on the stove in a little saucepan, which is no problem. Sometimes you just have to adapt. And I'm gonna get about a tablespoon of the rose petals and put them in. I think that'll be tasty. Today is a beautiful afternoon. It is warming up outside, so I've been working in the garden a lot and excited to be sharing a little bit more gardening with you since I started my gardening Instagram, and working really hard making that rose cottage garden here in Arizona. Now here are some pretty little rose cubes. They're little rosebud sugar cubes that I found on Amazon. They're actually from France, and they're part of a company that they gift wrap them so beautiful. So I'm excited to try those today and put them in. I'm gonna put them in our little sugar bowl. They're so pretty. Now, to get a couple, put them in. As I'm putting in my sugar cubes, I realize that there's also some white. So I already added some pink. Isn't that so pretty? Now let's see how I can grab this while looking in the camera. They're so pretty. And I do have a little half and half that I'm going to put inside our creamer. And this is gonna be a yummy addition. So this time we get to have some cream, which I absolutely love having cream in my tea. It's always nice to have a cup of tea in the afternoon, especially when you have someone to share it with. Looks like the tea is ready, so I'm going to serve it in here, and I will meet you back in the dining room. I almost forgot the sugar bowl and the cream. So let's see what our rose tea turned in to be. such a delicate color. It's a very pretty, delicate color. Very pretty. I served one for me and one for you. It's beautiful. Here's your tea. I'm going to take a little sugar, a little rose bloom sugar cubes. So the evening is drawing close and we spent a nice little late afternoon together today. That is absolutely beautiful. The flavor is very light. It's not a very robust tea. It's not like black tea at all. It's very special. This is actually perfect. Thank you for joining me and taking tea time with me on this International Tea Day and how we focused on roses. Remember to like this video and please comment down below. Tell me what part you enjoyed. I will see you again in my next video. Have a beautiful day.